Today I'm making pork bone broth from bones that I've been keeping in my freezer until I had enough to fill a crock pot. I like to make my bone broth in a crock pot because it's hands off. I can just put it on and walk away. The crock pot is also really good for keeping your temperature about the same. So I will turn my crock pot up on high to heat it up and then turn it down on low and let it cook for 8, 10, 12 hours. I add vegetable scraps that I keep in the freezer specifically for this reason. These are pieces of onion and celery. Then I'm also going to add a couple of bay leaves and probably about a tablespoon of black peppercorns. I'm also going to add a quarter of a cup of red wine vinegar. That helps the bones release collagen. And then I'm going to use enough filtered water, just enough to cover the bones. After 8 hours or so, I will strain this through a colander and a tea cloth. I like to use the cloth to get out as much of the small sediment as I can. And then I will take this pot, let it cool down, and I will put it in the refrigerator until the broth is completely cool. And that is so I can easily remove the fat from the top. And I want to remove the fat because I am going to can this broth, and the fat can go rancid long before the shelf life of the broth will expire. So I ended up with almost 2 gallons of bone broth. I cooked those bones 3 times, and this is what I ended up with. So I'm going to fill my jars to a 1-inch headspace. These jars are hot. They've been warming up in the canner. You don't ever really want to put boiling hot liquid into a cold jar. It can cause your jar to crack or break. And then I wipe the rim with vinegar. That is to remove any fat between the rim of the jar and the lid, which could prevent a good seal. Now I'm adding the jars to my hot canner. I'm going to put the lid on, allow the canner to come up to pressure, and when it starts venting steam, I'll allow that to vent for 10 minutes before I put my weight on. I'm using a 10-pound weight for my altitude. Then I adjust the heat to only let my weight jiggle about 2 times a minute, and I process this for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I turn the heat off and let the canner come completely down from pressure on its own. Then I remove the lid and wait another 5 minutes before removing the jars, and that's it.